The widow of a police officer has made an emotional plea for anyone who kills a member of the emergency services to be jailed for life. Lissie Harper's husband Andrew died violently at the hands of 3 young men, all of whom were cleared of murder but convicted of the lesser charge of manslaughter. Mrs. Harper has been speaking to Sky's Anna Botting.
The past year has been awful. And I think all I've been focusing on is the fact that he's not here. But coming up to the end of the trial, it was clear that something needed to change here, and that's why Harper's Law has sort of evolved and has become my focus now. A year astonishingly has passed, and now is time that I want to really focus on this, and I've become really determined to get this new law changed, passed, and we've had so much support with it. So yeah, that's my sort of focus now.
Why? What solace would it bring to you if you saw some change in the law?
Well, obviously I've been a partner of a police officer for years now, and I know that many other wives and husbands and even other family members see their loved ones go off to work, and they face dangers and risks every day, and that's not just within the police force but also doctors and nurses and paramedics, prison staff, many people who have chosen to do a job that they are at risk from many different things, and occasionally death. And so that's why, having begun the second trial, and reaching the point where they received a verdict that first of all was insufficient, and second of all the sentencing, it really made me think this needs to change. And the least I feel like the least we could do is offer protectors some protection, and not only that, but if this in some small way acts as a deterrent for people thinking of committing crimes, or people who live that sort of lifestyle, to think, well, actually, if somebody is killed, then it will be a serious consequence and not just a few years in prison and then back to their normal life.
Did Andrew always want to become a police officer?
Yeah, ever since I met him, it was clear that he was going to go down some sort of path like that. I think he talked about joining the army or being a police officer. But anyone who knew him, you could see that was suited to him. He was always very protective and kind, proactive, and he always wanted to help people. He's always had a very strong sense of right and wrong, and I think all of his friends, we all knew that he was so suited to that role. His ability even just to kind of stay calm in these situations where I don't think I would necessarily manage to do that. I was just so proud of the way that he did his job, and he was just so dedicated to it. So yeah, I think it was an ambition of his for a long time.
There are some lovely photographs of the two of you, very young. I know he joined your school when you were about early teens, and finally he was nearly 16 and you had just turned 16 when you agreed that you would be his girlfriend. What was it that you liked about him? Tell us a bit about him.
Well, he's just a tall, lanky, normal sort of teenager with rosy cheeks and a silly sense of humour, I suppose. Had a lot of friends and was always joking around, but also very kind. And alongside that, also quite mature in a way. He had part-time jobs, and he knew it was important in life. Even then, he was a very protective person, and he always looked after me, and sort of from the early days until later.
Lissie Harper there, the widow of PC Andrew Harper, speaking to Sky's